If you couldn't tell from the previous review, I was pleasantly surprised with the overall sophistication of Gargoyles, with developing story ideas, hints of secret developments, evolving characters, and a refusal to talk down to the audience. Sure, some of the stuff like the Air Fortress is a bit silly, at least from a real-world perspective, but no more so than the stuff that Batman gets up to. Gargoyles is in a world similar to that of comic books, where there isn't necessarily the kind of hard reality that's implied. But at the same time, it doesn't take that to mean stupid is on the menu. For instance, we're not covering this episode, but this is from Metamorphosis.
But the problem is the energy needs of the wing muscles. The creature would need to eat the equivalent of 3 cows a day to maintain its strength.
So how do the gargoyles do it? Not too many cows in Manhattan.
I surmise they store solar energy while hibernating as stone every day.
Putting aside the idea of turning people into monsters with a dart gun, that's more thinking about the biology of a fictional species than you get in a lot of works, regardless of medium. We're going to be tackling 3 loosely related episodes this month, each providing some insights. Today's is Long Way to Morning, which starts out 10 years before the betrayal of the Gargoyles, thanks in part due to the princess's anti-gargoyle prejudice. Why does she hate them so?
Hush now. The Gargoyles will get you if you don't behave.
Oh, that's right. It was thanks to Father of the Year, Prince Jerkwad. Hudson, back before he was called that or anything else, obviously is now the leader of the Gargoyles and has some concerns about this.
Oh, you are too sensitive.
I just said you like eating children. What's the problem? Besides concerns that the prince is planting irrational fear of his people into the heart of the future head of the realm, Hudson's also concerned about the archmage that the prince banished for trying to usurp his throne. And unlike Tim the Enchanter, the archmage actually knows how to do something with magic besides screw up. He's here for revenge in the form of a poisoned dart. Not the lightning bolt, huh? Oh well, anyway, in the present, Hudson reflects upon those times. Elsewhere, Demona has tracked down Elisa and attacks, and with her superior strength and speed, she shoots her with a poisoned dart. What is it with the villains and the darts already? Was there some kind of shipping error, and now Xanatos makes everybody use them because we've got to clear the inventory? Demona's demand is that Goliath shows up for a tussle, or else he won't get his hands on the antidote and Elisa will die. But luckily for her, her shield-shaped badge actually shielded her, stopping the dart from killing her. But despite this, Goliath plans to go, so that Demona won't think that her plan failed and try some other method that might work. A.k.a. anything that's not a dart. Like a blaster rifle. Good example! Ha! Brings a knife to a laser fight. But Hudson outsmarts her, and he knows that he doesn't have to beat her, he just has to stay ahead of her to make it to sunrise when they'll turn to stone, because they wake up fully healed, see? It reminds Hudson of the dream and why he had to step down as leader, which we flash back to. The story of the poisoned prince. Boy, do we have anybody that can help? Anybody else? Alright, if we give Tim the Enchanter the magic book, even he should manage not to screw this up. So Hudson gets Goliath and Demona to help him find the book, while quietly lamenting at how he failed to protect the prince already, so he can't do so again. Demona spends her time doing 2 things, trying to get Goliath to assume the role of leadership, and to criticize everything that Hudson does. I will say this for her, though. She is being honest. She's not trying to be manipulative here, and unlike her plan with the captain later on, this isn't meant to be a dagger in the ribs. She's not telling Goliath to go kick Hudson's ass or anything like that, and later on when he is injured, she shows genuine concern for his well-being. You can kind of plot her character's path from this. Right now, she has admirable traits. She will voice discontent to serve the best interests of her people, but she won't actually wish harm on anyone to achieve it. She has not allowed Machiavellianism to yet creep into her soul. And obviously Goliath would go on to lead, but he does not have the will to assume command. She's seeing that he is the most capable to do so, but I think she's also seeing that he lacks the will to do something uncomfortable to himself, even if it's what their people needs him to do. And with his repeated refusal to stand his ground with the humans in the castle, but let them taunt and threaten their clan without forcing them to accept the Gargoyles as equal partners, it's easy to see the direction she's shifting in. She's starting to see herself as the one who must take action when he won't, act surreptitiously because he will not take direct action, yet is unable to bring herself to actually oppose him. But those traits have been warped in the present, where we can glimpse at her plan to do what she believes Goliath should have done in the beginning, assume command. She's trying to kill Goliath and believes it's what's necessary to get the remaining gargoyles to see why she should be their leader. So while this is Hudson's story, it's telling us a lot about her as well. In the present, he works to keep one step ahead of her, so while she's blowing up all the old stuff left in this abandoned opera house, he again puts his TV watching to good use and decides to escape into the storm drains, just like Harrison Ford in The Fugitive. Heading through the tunnels then segues back into the flashback, where we likewise see him pursuing the Archmage into some caves, where the problem is the same. They can't use their wings, which negates a big advantage that they would have. There's also some strange Aztec-like carvings on the wall. Well, if you've any experience with the Elder Scrolls, then yes, you can bet that after heading through the tunnels, there's a secret magical shrine waiting with a high-level mage there. I fought mud crabs more fearsome than you! He's got magic, and we don't know how many shots he's got left in that book before he has to reload it, so Goliath dodges until he can knock it away and catch the book. The Archmage now goes from shooting bolts from his fingers to trying to hit Goliath with a lump of rock, and gets what all 10th century villains do, yes, I'll fall into a bottomless pit. So with the book, the prince can be saved, and Hudson will turn leadership over to Goliath, staying on to be his general knower of stuff. In the present, Demona has pursued them, but alas, they're out of tunnel. Oh, quick, Hudson, what would Jules Verne Spirit of Nature Award winner Harrison Ford do? Yes, that's right. But even hitting water, such a fall can kill you, so we're going to have to get a ruling on the field from God. God? Yes, the Supreme Being has ruled in Hudson's favor and delivers a warning to Demona to avoid roughing the QB. He drags Goliath to a graveyard to help raise his spirits, and then does the only thing he can do, try to keep Demona busy. He's actually quite capable. I'd call him spry, but I don't want to be condescending, so let's just say he knows how to stay a step ahead and even knows how to strike back. And he keeps a hell of an edge on that blade. That or the Crypt Keeper has fallen on hard times and only buys styrofoam statues now. If you follow the final 3 TNG film reviews, then you know that after a while the best use for a laser rifle is, yes, hit something with it. So naturally Demona switches over to gun kata minus the kata. Hudson buys enough time to reach morning so that by nightfall it's 2-on-1 and Demona lacks the element of surprise like she had the night before, so she has no choice but to run away, leaving Goliath to celebrate Hudson's victory.
I thought my warrior days were over.
Nonsense. There are years of fighting left for you.
Now there's something to look forward to.
Long Way to Morning is another demonstration of the fine storytelling techniques the series employed, mixing up a straightforward cat-and-mouse action routine with intercutting backstory elements to keep things constantly moving. We don't exactly understand Hudson's character better from this, but rather gain an appreciation for what it is that he does, and know more about his history with the clan. As before, it leaves some questions unanswered, such as what the meaning of the carvings in the cave was, and why Goliath was given a name by the humans when his predecessor did not receive one. At least, that's what's implied. I particularly like one bit with the animation, where after Demona had shot Goliath, Hudson pulls his sword, and we see her reflection in it. It's not only cool looking, it also sets up for him bouncing the laser back. It's got a mirror shine to it. Next week we'll look at another time that their paths cross with Demona, and another Trek cast member arrives in The Mirror.
Fulminus Benite!